why did you decide to include ionized glycinate, ascorbate, citrate, and C16 and C18 alkyl forms of magnesium in the Magnesium Plus Guard, and not other highly bioavailable forms of magnesium such as taurate, threonate, and malate, for example?
Good question. The better forms of magnesium, which include citrate, succinate, malate, glycinate, aspartate, taurate, pitilate, threonate, they each have their advocates, generally people who work for the company that makes that specific magnesium salt. It is true that magnesium has different uptake, magnesium salts have different uptake in different places in the small intestine. So we recommend from the different categories. The glycinate is the amino acid complex, and it's very important that it be an actual amino acid recrystallized complex and not a chelate, because chelates are all soy containing, although it's rarely disclosed. So you want the recrystallized amino acid form, you want the antioxidant reduced form, that's the ascorbate. You want to have, as I said, a variety of different categories of forms of magnesium, including those fatty acids, the C16, C18 alkyls, which means palmitic and stearic acid from vegetables, not to be confused with the hydrogenated magnesium stearate, which frankly we wouldn't touch with a barge pole. So we chose the forms of magnesium to meet different needs in different parts of the small intestine. We have no objection to the other better forms, but remember that the max you can get in, the maximum you can get in without the enhanced choline citrate help is about 1/3. And if you give as much as most people need, which is somewhere between 880 and 1,320 milligrams a day, you saturate the calcium magnesium ATPase ion channel. Magnesium builds up to hypermotility levels in the gut, and people have diarrhea and generally are not too pleased. And as I have mentioned on occasion, at the moment, because of my magnesium needs, I'm taking 1,320 milligrams of elemental magnesium with the help of the choline citrate. And that keeps my urine pH in the 6.5 to 7.5 range in the morning after rest. And the indication of how much magnesium you need is if you're just maintaining, then 2 capsules and a teaspoon twice a day, which would be 440 milligrams plus 2 teaspoons of the choline citrate in a day. And you can maintain needs if you're healthy. If your pH is below 6.5, you need more doses, 3, 4, 5 doses a day. And because the pH scale is logarithmic, the difference between 6.5 and 5.5 is a factor of 10. The difference between 6.5 and 4.5 is a factor of 100. So very important to measure the pH the way we do in our self-assessment, pH morning urine self-assessment, and to guide your daily magnesium intake based on that kind of objective information rather than a one-dose-fits-all recommendation, or as you get older, you should always take more. I'm reluctant to see those kinds of categorical recommendations as evidence-based and scientific. And my experience has been that people remain individual throughout their entire lifespan. And yes, the need for magnesium generally goes up. Yes, most people have a relative excess of calcium, but an absolute deficiency in the cells of magnesium. And while calcium is a second messenger, it's an amplifying molecule, calcium in essence says go, and magnesium in essence says, chill. We need both. And while most people do have a relative excess of calcium, they have an absolute deficiency of magnesium. And if you just give calcium for strong bones, or calcium and vitamin D for strong bones, or vitamin D and K and vitamin K and calcium for strong bones, you won't really achieve bone health. And that's why we pioneered, among others, the PERC Bone Guard Forte. That includes the full suite, the full complement of essential bone building nutrients. And our colleague Susan Brown put us to the test some years ago, and we showed that we built new bone by DEXA in just 2 years in essentially all of the people who made best efforts to follow our guidance. Living the alkaline way, using self-assessments in order to keep healthy bones and joints and large blood vessels for life.